Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk About It, where we have unfiltered lifestyle conversations for couples who want more connection, more honesty, and more adventure. Now, this podcast is intended for adults 18 and over and is not a safe for work podcast. Keep in mind, we're not experts, therapists, or counselors. We're just a real couple sharing our experiences in the lifestyle and the lessons that we've learned along the way. Please remember that every relationship and every dynamic is different, and what works for us may not work for everyone. Let's be honest, guys. Meeting people in the lifestyle can feel anywhere from thrilling to terrifying. How do you act? What do you say? Today, we're breaking down how people actually meet in the lifestyle, what works, what doesn't, and how to stop overthinking it so you can start enjoying the connections. We'll be talking about apps, events, parties, rejection, boundaries, and yes, the awkward first conversations. If you've ever thought, are we doing this right? Then this episode is for you. Welcome back, guys. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about meeting others in the lifestyle. This is one of the most exciting parts, but it can also be one of the most intimidating, especially if you're new. But whether you're brand new and wondering where the heck you even meet other swingers, or if you've been around a while but still felt awkward starting conversations, just know, guys, you are not alone. Our goal today is to just normalize those nerves, break down expectations, and talk about where and how you will actually meet people in the lifestyle. And so, since there are so many people in the lifestyle out there hiding in plain sight, but still needing to be discreet, the number one place that's good to start meeting people is online.
Like how we met.
We met, yeah, we met online on a dating app.
What was it? Plenty of fish, I think it was.
Plenty of fish, yeah. And neither one of us had been in the lifestyle prior, so we didn't meet on a lifestyle app. We just met on the Plenty of Fish dating app.
But in the lifestyle, it's essentially the same way. It's just a different platform. Look at your profile and look around those in your area, preferably. I mean, unless you do a lot of traveling. But from there, it's what would you say? How would you say it? Just kind of putting yourself out there. The key thing is to read people's profiles. And, if you are a single male and couples are saying they're not accepting messages from single males at this time, respect those boundaries.
Oh my gosh, yes, 'cause a lot of people, I think, just don't even read profiles.
Right, they just look at the picture and like, "They're hot," or, "They're
Yeah,
hot."
because we have in pretty much probably all of our profiles that we're not looking for single males. Not that we're opposed to them, but I always put in there we're not looking. Like, if we meet somebody
Yeah, that's gonna be
out in
more
the
of a
wild.
more of an in-person thing than online.
Yeah, like, we're not gonna wanna start chatting with a single male online. That's something like, if we happen to meet someone at an event, that's
Right.
fine. Okay, so but I think we're jumping way ahead, back to online. There are a lot of lifestyle, well, not, there's quite a few lifestyle specific dating apps, websites out there. So we'll briefly touch on those, but first of all, a few things I want to say, if you're getting on the app, on the dating site, you're gonna have to create a profile. If you're a couple, you create a couple profile. If you're single, you'll create a single profile, whatever works for your dynamic. But with that, create a decent profile. Don't put on there like I've literally probably seen some that somebody will have like a picture of a pineapple or something, and their description will just be like couple, same room, full swap, and that's it. Like that's it. That's
Right. You don't give anything to approach you to have a conversation about what are your interests in the lifestyle. I've seen some profiles with that. I've also seen a lot of people, especially ours, we list our interests outside of the lifestyle. So that way, it lets people know a little bit about us and
It's a good starting point to start conversations and know who you connect with. So, on your profile, sure, you do want to have on there somewhere what you're looking for, but who are you? Like, let people know a little bit about you, just like you would on a normal dating website. People want to know a little bit about you
Sure.
in order to message you. If you have like no info on there and get upset because nobody messaged you, well, I mean that's
I
on
mean,
you.
try to answer 5 questions: who, what, when, where, and why.
That's
But,
good, yeah.
I mean, who you are, what you're into, why you're into it. You don't have to go into specifics, things of that nature. I'm not saying write a paragraph on each one, but a sentence,
Yeah,
you
a
know.
sentence or 2 on each one.
Right.
Make it decent so people can kinda get a feel of who you are. Because, like, we wanna know a little bit. An example, we probably wouldn't mesh well with people that are like, that only listen to country music and
Right.
live on a farm. I mean, it's just that vibe is just way different from us. It's probably not people we're gonna get along with. What are you laughing? Because 'Cause I'm talking with my hands?
No, I'm laughing because I can think of at least 2 couples that we've got along great with that listen to country music and live on a farm.
Well, I'm not saying you can't we listen to some country music, but I mean, say that's all they
No,
listen
I I
to
I
and
got what you mean.
you know what I
It's
mean?
just I was just thinking of immediate.
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, we have
But, I mean,
varied
you're talking about the personality types, yeah, we're
so, like, you let people know a little bit about your personality in your profile. Like, give people a starting point. And when it comes to pictures, totally understand there are people out there that well, there's people that well, you can't show everything on the profile
well, I
photos.
mean,
I'm talking about the profile photos to
right,
start with. You can't show everything on there, but there's some people that don't wanna show their face on their main profile
right.
pic. And if you don't, if it's at all possible, take a picture of yourself, if you have like a half body picture, full body picture, just so somebody can get a general idea of you and put like like one of those
Yeah,
pineapple
pineapple.
emoji stickers or something over your face. Like give people something. I don't know, back of your head, something, let them know, you are a real person, you exist. And as for not putting your photo on there, some people just stay on that side and be that cautious, but everyone on there is on there for the same reason you are generally or within that realm. So personally, it wouldn't that's never even in the beginning before we were more public about it, I never really worried about, "Oh, what if I see someone on there that knows who I am?" Well, I know who they are too, so, like, that's never been but if you need to do that, I get it, but try to give people something. And if you post a picture, please don't post a picture from, like,
Yeah, make it original.
27 years ago when you were going to your high school prom, like,
A little
you know,
a little
well
bit too far back there.
yeah, but
Right,
even 10 years ago,
right.
don't post an old picture that doesn't look like you now. Let's not catfish people because the goal is to meet these people and have fun experiences. So that's not
If you post a picture of you 10 years previously and you may not look like that picture currently, that's not a good start to
yeah.
it's not
It's
a good representation.
it's not. I mean, nothing wrong with, if you want to make sure you got your lighting right, you got a good angle, make it a good picture. Definitely, try to get a good photo. If you're a couple and you're putting a picture, please put a picture of y'all together as a couple. Don't, because there's some couples I've seen that'll be on there and like the photo will be just a picture of the wife. And it's like, no, if you're a couple and you're looking for couples, you need to have pictures of you both on there. We want to know you both really exist. And next, I'd say, be honest. Obviously, we've already mentioned that, but in your profile, if you're brand new, but hey, we're newer to the lifestyle. We're still learning. Don't
Everybody was new at one point or another.
yeah, don't misrepresent yourself. Be honest because people again, the goal is hopefully you're gonna meet these people, so they'll figure it out if you're exaggerating or twisting
Right.
things around. And although you do want to start with who you are, you do some point there want to get let people get an idea of what you are looking for. We're a couple looking for couples, single females, single males.
Right. You don't have to give all your boundaries and
No.
everything about your entire relationship, but you know, we'll let those people that are out looking, initiate conversation with you. So be honest about what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the basics of getting a profile set up. You do wanna you wanna put some effort and some time into it and make it decent because that's kinda like that's your first impression
Right.
to a lot of people. And as for we'll touch base on a few of the apps and things. If you've been following us, I'm sure you've heard us talk about SDC. That is our personal favorite site. It's
Yep.
gonna vary depending on your area, how you use it, what you're looking for, all that stuff.
You,
Yeah, well, I think SDC seems to be the most user friendly,
right.
like
Well,
the layout.
that's why I said that.
Yeah,
If you're somewhat computer savvy or good with apps, then some of the others work. But for me personally, I prefer SDC. And I've noticed a lot of the other call it like Vibe, those type groups.
yeah,
There you go. When they have their parties and everything, their website is a very similar version to what
yeah,
SDC's is.
kind of a similar. A lot of them have
Right.
the same type of layout, but yeah, SDC is our favorite one. There is a link in our show notes where you can check out our webpage also, guys. That'll have most all of these apps and things listed. There is also a promo code in the show notes for a month premium free SDC if you want to check that out. And that's another thing on pretty much all these. It's just like the non-lifestyle apps. You can get on there, you set up a profile, and you get limited features, but
Limited access.
to get full features, all the messaging and stuff, you do have to have a subscription. But if you're, serious about the lifestyle, serious about finding people, then it's a good investment. It's a good
And
thing to
not
start
just
with.
finding people, staying in connection with people that you meet at events,
That's true.
because that's a good way to do it. Because you noticed a lot of people don't give out phone numbers. So, like
Yeah.
texting on meeting up people and staying, I mean, once you've met and hung out and everything several times, then I'm sure it is, or you
Yeah, but
met.
initially, people don't wanna give their numbers out and
Right. It's a
stuff.
lot easier to go, hey, if you're on SDC, here's our screen name.
Yeah, and we've done that since our first big
Yeah.
event. But
That's
I think there's some people we added from that event that we're
mhm,
still friends with on there.
yep.
But it's if you do especially if you travel to events, it's a good way to keep in touch. But STC is the one we like. There's some other similar type. SLS is another one. It's also one that's linked on our webpage, but it's pretty similar to SDC. I don't
But
find it as user friendly.
yeah, I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't
It's
know.
a
Signed up. I wasn't too fond of it. It's not a knock on them, just the format of it just
mm,
didn't work for me.
right, right.
As opposed to like I was talking about earlier, STC was, oh, okay, I kind of understand this. It's kind of
It
like
works it
another,
works better in our brain, it
yeah,
computes better, but there's people that like SLS better, and also it'll vary depending on your region too, but,
right.
Cassidy is another one of the big ones. Cassidy's pretty good, there's a lot of people on Cassidy. I get emails every now and then from our Cassidy account says, "You have a new email," but I haven't checked that email. But yeah, Cassidy's one of the bigger ones. They promote a lot at events and
Yeah, they're at
stuff.
a lot of the events.
Before we move on to the next app, so I do want to take a second to mention, keep in mind, guys, and if you've been in, say, your current relationship for a while, maybe you had experiences with online dating before. In the lifestyle, you're still gonna deal with similar things you would, in a monogamy world of online dating.
Yeah,
There are gonna be time wasters, there are gonna be ghosters, there's gonna be catfishers, and even though, you have to go through verification process and everything on these, there's still gonna be people that get on there and The apps, they can't keep them all out because they don't always know, but be aware. Look at someone's profile. Do they have pictures? Is it just one picture? Does it look like a picture they could have pulled off of Google? What kind of details do they have in their profile? How do they sound in chat? Don't waste, like, weeks talking to someone if you're not sure they're a real person. Just be aware, use common sense. A lot of the times you can tell, like, when someone's not really a lifestyle person, whether it's a bot account. Like, I like the ones that we always get, the men that say they're going into Nashville for work on a work trip
Oh,
and their
yeah.
wife can't come, but she's okay with we get those quite a bit, and it's like, "Oh, really? Can we talk to her? Can we verify that?" And then suddenly we don't hear from him again. Yeah, so that happens a bit. But, if you doubt someone's a real person or doubt who they say they are, there's nothing wrong with asking them for some kind of, like, something to verify. Don't ask for a copy of their ID or anything, but, like, say, "Hey, can you send me a picture holding a spoon in your hand?" Or
Sheet of paper and hold it up.
yeah, something. So, just make sure be aware. In the online world, there's gonna be some downsides, so just stay aware of that. So a couple of the other apps we'll touch on. Fun is a pretty popular one. Obviously, 3 Fun is more for couples and singles trying to meet up with each other.
Right.
So we did meet someone off of there once.
You know more about that one than I do because
Yeah,
that was more
but
you
that's
talking
where we
about.
met Casper. She messaged us, but anyways, that was the whole thing for another episode.
Yeah, another one of our great adventures.
One of our great adventures for sure. Oh yeah, 3 Fun is a pretty decent one in our area. Unicorn Landing is another good one. Unicorn Landing is for females only. Guys, don't get on Unicorn Landing. Don't try. But it is for females only. It is for, obviously couples and single females looking for one another. And that one's been out. They've only been out a couple years, I think, since she made that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they started it right as
we were
we
getting
were
into
getting
the
into TikTok and
events and
everything and
TikTok
events,
and
so
all
that was
that.
a
Yeah,
couple
so
years ago.
yeah, it's been a couple years ago that they started that. So that's another good one if that's something, you're looking for, then that may be a good fit. Field is one that I've heard a lot about, but we have not tried Field. Never even downloaded it. So I mean, but they can all be good or bad, just depending on use and luck in your area. But those are like the major sites and apps that I'm
Right, those are
aware
the
of.
the main ones that we know about, and I'm sure there's smaller ones out there that just don't have the following or know about yet.
Sure.
I wouldn't really call it an app. Discord, swing.
Well, that's what I was gonna go
Oh, okay,
into
okay.
next, actually, is the different online groups. Yeah, Discord. We're in a couple Discords. We are in our local group is on Discord. So we're in that, but we're also in the Swinger Society Discord. I don't know if all of you are familiar with Discord, but you basically would need an invite link to get in. But there's the Swinger Society Discord. There's a lot of people on there. There's close to 50,000, I believe. The Swinger Society
Yeah, I
Discord.
don't
I
know why I
think
keep
close to
calling it their podcast.
50,000. But yeah, so there's a lot of people on there, and Discord is good for these groups too because the way they're broken down into channels so people can go to whatever topic they wanna hear about, and they've got channels on there for different regions and different states, so definitely a good one to check out just to kinda
Heck, they've got it. It's worldwide.
yeah, I know, but they've got it broken down into the different regions, but they also have states, and so if you guys wanna check that out, check out our webpage, which is in our show notes. There is a link to that if you wanna check that out, if that's something you're interested in. Can connect with a whole lot of swingers from all over the place. And they have a lot of events that they do too. It's one thing I did not mention about the apps and
When
websites is that they have an events section. So, like SDC and Cassie and all those, you can go to event sections and it will show you events in your local area. So that can be really handy. Or when you're traveling, because it
right.
will
Don't
switch to your location.
I think you can actually search
Yeah, you
ahead
you
of
can
time.
search different locations ahead of time, so that can be helpful, but, like, in the Swinger Society Discord, they have, some channels up for all their big events that they have. So, yeah, we're in a couple Discord groups, and if you're old school like we are and still use Facebook,
Good old Facebook.
there are actually, at least in our state, there's a good amount of lifestyle Facebook groups. I would suggest looking up something like
Closest li
swinging in your yeah, your closest big city
Yeah.
or even your state. Like, we could look up Tennessee lifestyle, I think there's one, Nashville swingers.
Yeah, just about any major city in the
Yeah.
I mean, at least around here.
Yeah, so I'd say it's probably a bit of a look for something that either says swingers or lifestyle and then put something in your area, whether your state, your closest big city, whatever it is, and kinda see, but there's a bit of groups on there, and all of these are good ways to interact with people, get to know people, and find out events in your area. And that's gonna be kind of the next section I wanna talk about was going to events. Online is 100% useful because, again, a lot of people are discreet, so they're not, they don't have, like, a pineapple flag in their front yard, so it's a good place to start, but definitely once you can get started and find out where events are and get-togethers, start going to those because you'll save yourself a lot of time because you're getting to know people right in person. So you can tell vibes, you can tell chemistry pretty easily that way. So definitely recommend going to in-person events.
Those that know us and that we talk to and that we've met and that we talk to online realize that I am not one to talk a lot on social media.
Yep, that's me.
Part of it is I just I've just never really enjoyed it. I'd rather have a face-to-face conversation with somebody or more than I would online, but, I mean, I will jump in and everything, so to each his own in that scenario. I
That's
try
true.
I try not to be the person that's just sitting in there and not talking, although I have gotten a little bit better about it this year.
You have been popping in there a bit here and there. But yeah, I'm usually the online person more. Anyway, so going to those events. If you're new, that's probably something you're wanting to do too. You're probably wanting to check out an event, and they're great ways to meet people. If you're new, if you can find just a general meetup, and a meetup could be just basically it's a non-play type.
It's called a munch.
Well, some people don't that's
Munch
more of a
is
BDSM
it really?
term.
Oh, I thought it was
More I think some lifestyle get-togethers use it, but
oh,
I've
okay.
heard it a lot more in the BDSM
Fair enough.
terms, but they may use it for some of the lifestyle get-togethers, but because it'll be a group just getting together to hang out, go to dinner, go to lunch,
Go
go
whitewater rafting.
play pool. Well, I mean, our local group would probably do they did, that's right,
That's
they
why
did
I
do that,
mentioned it.
yeah. Our local group does a lot of casual meetups. It's just so you get comfortable with people, you get to know people without any pressure of anything happening.
Like trivia night.
Trivia night, yeah, that's one
We've
that you
we've
went
done that
to.
a couple of times,
Well, that's true, we went with that couple too.
right?
But yeah, meetups are just meetups or munches, they're just casual. It's just to make those connections, see who you might get along with, who you might want to get to know better. Those are really good, especially if you're in the beginning stages. As far
If
as,
they're really good if you're the type of person that wants to do baby steps. You're not gonna be in a
yeah,
very large crowd for the most part. You're probably looking at most meetups having some of them have as few as 5 to 8 people. Most of
yeah,
them usually hover around 10 to 15 to 20, I'd say, and that's again, this is just where we live, what I'm going by, so if you live in a more populated area, your get-togethers may be a little bigger, but it's a good way to slowly work your way into the lifestyle and get your name, you know, people can put a name to a face.
yeah. Instead of
Face
just randomly just showing up at a party,
face to a name.
face to a name.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Little bass backwards there.
That's all right. We'll get it together. But and I know when you're new, going to your first events, that's an exciting thing, and it's a good way to meet people. And we'll just briefly touch on this because we'll at some point should probably do a whole episode on the different types of events. But
Yeah,
yeah, there's lots of different types. But as for the more events that people think of when they're thinking of the lifestyle, house parties, that would
number
probably
one on the
win
list.
the house parties, or like they used to have them, the key parties. Just so y'all know, swinger house parties aren't really like that anymore. I mean, don't get me
I'm
wrong,
sure people
there's some,
have
you know, there,
key party.
yeah, I'm sure
That's
there
what
are still
I'm
some
talking
people
about.
that have them, and there are, you know, people may set up parties that are just for play, but most house parties are, you know, little more casual than that. So it can be that's probably the next step up from a meetup would be going to a
Yeah.
house party.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then, you know, we can get a little more serious about it. Lifestyle clubs. And they're usually found around big cities. You know, like there's some in Nashville,
Oh,
there's one
there's
in
3 in
Knoxville.
Nashville.
Yeah,
There's a
one in
couple.
Knoxville.
One in
So, you know, usually if you've got big cities near you, Dallas, Austin,
Atlanta,
Atlanta,
Miami,
yeah.
Atlanta,
The big
Orlando.
cities is normally where those clubs are. So if you're within the decent driving distance of one,
What
Google
was
can work
what
wonders.
was Memphis, Missouri? I'm almost certain I sent you a screenshot of it, but it was some event in Missouri this month or
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't
in
remember now,
July, I
babe.
think it is.
I don't remember now. Lost
After
my
after
train of
the
thought.
clubs, though. Clubs are gonna be okay, so this is where people say it costs money, and if we're gonna be talking about where to meet people, let's let you know about this part of it too. Clubs are private venues, so they can set their own rules. Don't think that just because you're a swinger that you or just anybody, for that matter, can just walk up to a club and get in. They are going to have most of them. I'll say it this way, most of them have a online registration that you have to go through where you have to join to where they do a background. I assume they do a background check of some sort.
Yeah, I think some of them do. I think they're mainly checking for like sex crimes.
The more violent, violent
Violent crimes or sex crimes, I think.
you are going to have to pay. Usually for a month membership, it's not that
No,
much.
I don't know off the top of my head though, because
It kind of varies club to club.
we're not huge club people, so we don't go on the regular. We mainly, you know, we might go once or twice a year to a takeover or something.
Right.
So,
But the other thing is, if you're going to, and you'll, as you learn about, as we talk about the events, this will be the biggest thing. They're going to be more couple oriented. A lot of them don't let in single men unless there's a special event.
no, there's quite a few of the clubs that'll let them in, but they may limit them
Right. There's a
or only
limit on
have
them,
certain nights.
and the price to get in is usually double what it is for a couple.
Yeah, usually, like, let's just say, for example, now this is going to vary a lot club per club. Like, there's three clubs in Nashville, and I'm pretty sure they're all a different range of price range. But, like, say for a single female, it might be $30. For a couple, it might be
40.
$50.
Yeah.
For a single male, it's probably gonna be $80.
Yeah. Pretty much double whatever it is for the
So
couple.
just be aware of that. That's
Yeah.
a little bit off the topic, but yeah, but clubs can be a good place to meet people, and a lot of them will have newbie nights too. So look for that. They have websites that have their different theme nights and schedules and things. And then, of course, there's the larger events like hotel takeovers and resorts and
Like,
cruises. So if you want to really just dive in and meet people,
like we did.
um, yeah, we did. We went to a huge hotel takeover in downtown Atlanta. The whole hotel was sold out. It was a ton of people, but we met a ton of people. And some of those people we still talk to today regularly. So it works out. You will meet people online and get out there, get to those events. All right, so you've been online and you've chatted with people and you found out where the events are and you're going to events or you're just meeting up with a couple the first time. Next thing is just breaking the ice. It's just starting those first conversations. Yeah, that's true because you don't really, I mean,
Yeah,
breaking
'cause
the
at that
ice. You've
point,
probably already broke the ice if you're
yeah,
going on a date with a couple. So that's true. Good point.
but looking for people or couple to talk to or be interested in, first kinda use your eyes, look around, see what's out there, kind of familiarize yourself with the area, kind of get acclimated to what's going on.
Yeah, read the room.
Yeah, read the room. Secondly, as you're looking around, like, take notice of certain things. I know she doesn't like me mentioning this, and I've worked on cutting it back, but I'm a smoker. And for some people, that's a
Mm,
cutback, and for other people, they're smokers. If you're a smoker, find out where the smoking section is. There's always going to be people around, and you have a genuine open line. You can walk over and go, "Hey, can I borrow a lighter? Hey, can I get a cigarette? I left mine up in the room." You can make an excuse to start a conversation with somebody that way. That's just an idea. I'm not saying it's a great one. Another thing, look for people wearing merchandise. A lot of the times, guys wear caps or everything. Usually has a team on it. If you know something about that, "Hey, I see you're a fan of so and so." That's a
yeah.
good way. And that's how I usually start conversations with people is I kinda look around, get acclimated, and then, we'll sit and talk and, "Hey, they look interesting," or "They look interesting," and we'll just try to introduce ourselves that way. Just find something that would something that you can have a genuine conversation with very easily about. You know,
Yes, and it
if you walk up on 2 people and they're talking, like, business strategy or something, and you have no clue about it, don't walk up and interrupt their conversation. I mean, pick and choose.
Yeah, definitely, and I had a thought there, and I think I just lost it. Yeah, genuine conversation, not just bullshit talk, and don't go straight into, like, sexual talk. Have actual conversations with people. That's one thing I think that's a misconception out there, is that all these are just big orgy parties or something, but no, with people, we talk, we get to know one another, we make friends with these people. This is just our community and our group. So be able to have good general, at least somewhat intelligent conversations with people. Me personally, that would be the biggest, probably one of the biggest turn off if we can't have a halfway intelligent conversation. You know, be there to meet people, to talk to people, to get to know people. Compliments are another good way to start conversation. Somebody's got on something you like, let them know. It's a good way to start a conversation also. It is, and it starts it off on a positive tone because who doesn't want a freaking compliment? So, there are a lot of people running around giving out compliments in the lifestyle. Nice people. So, yeah, I'd say, and there may be times you get nervous, especially at your first event or have social anxiety in large groups, just do your best to relax and just get to know people as people,
Right.
and you'll be fine.
There's nothing that says when you go to these events, like you get the purpose is to meet people and everything. So don't feel like you have to be pressured to meet anybody or even talk to anybody. Maybe if you're
Mhm.
the type of person that takes a while to get acclimated to an area, you just enjoy the vibe of being around other people. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to say anything to you for the most part, as long as you're not like creeping around
Don't be a
yeah,
creep.
it doesn't bother people. But, if you're uncomfortable initiating a conversation or whatever, it takes time. It's just like anything else. You have to feel comfortable in your surroundings before you can open up. So,
Yeah, that's always a big thing for me. Like, it takes me a little bit at a new place to kind of get comfortable. I just have to kind of adjust. And one thing too that makes me more comfortable going to events, since we were talking about nerves and things. For me personally, pretty much, at least almost every event we've ever been to, whether it's our local group, whether it's a vibe takeover, swinger study takeover, whatever. And even the clubs have them too, where they have online places where you can chat with other people going to this event. I always do that beforehand, guys. Even though it may be people from different states that are all coming for the event, but by chatting with them, you can kind of start to build those relationships, figure out who you might want to talk to more, who you might have things in common with. And for me, at least, it makes me more comfortable going to an event if there's people there that I've at least talked to online. I mean, obviously, I'm most comfortable if there's people there I know that I'm friends with, but, sometimes we go to different states sometimes for events, so there's gonna be times that we don't actually know anybody there, but we can get to know people in the chats ahead of time, and that personally does make me feel more comfortable. I don't know if that'll help other people, but it's a thing I like.
So, and there's it's what you how you feel comfortable putting yourself out there, and there's no pressure to rush into it, and you do it at your own pace. It's kinda like when we were talking about the initial conversation. Go at the pace of the slowest person.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no rush, no pressure, but, most people a lot of us that have been in the lifestyle for a bit, when we go to these events, our kind of the number one thing we're doing is hanging out with friends and making new friends, so that's kind of what you spend more time doing than anything.
For networking.
No, just hanging out with friends and getting to know people. So as you're getting to know those people and maybe some of those people that you're getting to know at events and things you have chatted with online as well. And one of the reasons I prefer the talk to people more at events is because when you think you have chemistry chatting with someone online, that does not mean that's going to carry over to in person. So just know that, there can be people you totally vibe with online. Y'all get along great. You talk a lot and you meet in person, and it's just not the same. And that's okay. Chemistry is a very important part of the lifestyle, and it's a focus a lot of people are looking for. And that's why, every connection you make in the lifestyle is a potential friend. That doesn't mean you're going to play with everybody or want to play with everybody or everybody wants to play with you. Honestly, again, the biggest part of the lifestyle is just a community. It's people hanging out with friends and having a good time. So just know that. And it is also important to know when and how from the beginning to communicate and to express boundaries and consent.
Yeah, that's a big once you kinda breaking the ice and everything, maybe there's a little bit of chemistry there, things are going well for you. The next thing you need to discuss is what your boundaries are, what you're okay with, and ask them what theirs are. Uh, this is where, sometimes, okay, your boundaries and the energy match up and okay, you're good.
Mm,
And then other times, oh,
maybe not.
maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd say even earlier before you even get into like the boundaries, just in general asking, and this is something it's not weird to ask very early on, is what's their dynamic?
There you go.
Too, because some couples play separate, some don't. There's straight people, there's bi people, same
Right.
room, different room. So these are kind of basics. Some people have a hot wife dynamic, some people have a cuck dynamic. I mean, knowing
Right.
what that is early on.
Right. That's where the whole at the beginning of educating yourself and knowing what terms are and everything will come into play when you're talking to people. They're not going to explain everything. They're just going to use same room, full swap or, you know, soft swap only or this boundary, that boundary. So and if you ask them to elaborate further, they probably would, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think that'd be a problem. I don't think anybody'd say no, but yeah, it's important to be clear and to kind of lay that out, especially once if you really feel like, hey, this is a good connection, we got some good chemistry here, maybe it'll go to something else, and you don't have to have like this intense, in depth conversation about it, but mention it, touch on it,
right,
kind of see if you're all on the same page. And that can be a good way, because it could be general conversation in the lifestyle amongst people to have that conversation, and it can give you a clue. You can kind of see how you feel about those boundaries or how they react to yours or your dynamic to kind of see if everybody's on the same page. Is it something everybody might want to go forward with? And if you have questions, ask them. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you don't want to deceive them. So yeah, you wouldn't want to be deceptive about anything. And remember, even if things are going well and everything at any point, no still means no.
Yeah, so, if things go well and you guys decide to play, but you get in there and then you get too nervous or, something happens unexpectedly or you're just not feeling the vibe like you thought you were. At any time, you can always be like, "You know what? I'm good." Just don't feel the vibe is there. Do it nicely, do it respectfully. Clear communication is always key. And a lot of people, I think, hear communication, communication, communication in the lifestyle, and they just are thinking about communication with their partner. I mean, and
Right.
even when I think about it, I'm thinking about us communicating. But you've got to be able to communicate with other people as well. So maybe not to the same degree, but you still want to communicate clearly. And if that situation ever happens, whether it's just when someone's asking, "Hey, do you guys want to play?" Or if it's in the middle of it, you change your mind or someone changes their mind. One thing with meeting people in the lifestyle, and the more you meet people and get out there, the more you'll have to get used to this, but you will get more comfortable with it with time, is you have to know how to both give and receive rejection.
Being able to say no to somebody, rejecting somebody,
I don't think they do.
but it's part of it. Like we were mentioning in the previous part, if the vibe's not there or maybe their boundaries are different, or maybe it's just you're not feeling it that night. It doesn't matter what the situation
Yeah.
is. As you'll hear a lot of people in the lifestyle say, don't take one for the team because it is just going to cause issues. On the other hand of it, if another couple or person rejects you, say thank you, or, don't say thank you. Be polite
Don't
about it. Go,
think that.
okay, cool, thank you. Maybe, hopefully we can still talk and be friends,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just that one time thing. You never know. But the more class and respect that you show, the more it'll get around and the more people will, yeah,
Notice
the more
you,
people
I'd
that will
say.
notice and
Notice. Yeah.
and be like, hey, they're a really good couple and fun to hang out with and everything. And they're very respectful and understanding. They're not gonna word it to make you look bad.
Yeah. And it also, things like that do get around, just like in normal everyday society, lifestyle is still a place where people will, share their experiences. Because we've also seen examples where people have not taken rejection well, and that got around pretty quickly.
Well, it was kinda public.
It was public, and that's why we weren't there when it happened, but
Yeah, we
yeah, and
were
it just, well, we were there, but I don't think we were like right up in it anyways.
right, we couldn't hear the conversation, but we heard from the person that did it,
Yeah, but
what went down because everybody saw the aftermath. It was
not pretty.
yeah, it was very
It
uncomfortable
was
there.
kind of,
You kinda killed the mood for a little bit.
it did. It was kind of like a little tantrum. She started crying. That's when you know you're taking it too personal.
Here's the thing, if somebody rejects you and you wanna know why, that's fine, but understand they're probably gonna be completely honest with you because 'cause you're asking for it at that point, and if I wouldn't ask why, I'll just leave it at that.
No, but I feel like literally probably 95% of the time it's just the vibe's not there or something of that nature.
Right.
This was kind of a different situation because the person that was rejected, she was kind of a problem child, maybe. She kind of had
Yeah,
caused some drama
just
within.
she was one of those that even though people had told her about boundaries and everything, and even
Mm,
specifically had been called out before on it, I know,
she
she still
wasn't.
continued to.
She wasn't good at boundaries,
Yeah. So, like we said, you're gonna meet more good people than you will bad apples in this,
for
but
sure.
don't just like dating in the single life and in the vanilla life. Not everybody has good intentions,
True. Not everybody
right?
does.
There's bad apples everywhere, so just
Yeah,
be
definitely.
safe.
And, don't let any bad apples spoil everything for you because there's really not that many in there, but you have to know that They're gonna be out there from time to time. But one thing that's since we're talking about meeting people in the lifestyle, as you meet people, you'll get to know certain people more and you'll kind of find your place or your group. And that really can help a lot because a lot of times when you find a good group, most of the bad apples are kept out. And if they're not kept out, then everybody realizes they're bad apples pretty easily. And that's one thing. We have a good local group that we're involved in, so that really does help. And that's one reason it's good to get out there and meet people. And you never know who you'll meet that'll introduce you to someone else or something else. That's kind of how we got into our local group.
It's how we got to where we are now.
So, and how we ended up here. So, yes, you got to meet people and they'll introduce you to other people and you might run into a couple bad ones along the way, but for the most part, it's good people. Before we wrap up, guys, just a quick reminder if you have a question or a comment for us, or you just want to say hey, then you can reach out to us at this number. It is 615-606-2922. Send us a text, leave us a voicemail. We would love to hear from you guys on any input you have about the show. And thanks for listening to today's episode about meeting other people in the lifestyle. If you do have any further questions, want something you want us to cover on a future episode, please let us know. And we hope this was helpful. Maybe you got a tip or two out of this. Meeting people in the lifestyle can be a little nerve-wracking at first, but it once you get used to it, it is positive, it is fun, it is an exciting time. It's a skill, it is something you'll get better with, and it'll get easier. So just go at your own pace and trust your instincts. Thanks so much for joining us for the podcast, guys. Please feel free to subscribe, to give us a follow, turn on your notifications, or share the podcast with a friend. Also, give us a rating, leave comments. All those things really help out the podcast. And remember, if you have questions, you can send us a text or leave us a voicemail at 615-606-2922. If you want to connect online, our website is savageswingers.com, and you can find our Patreon group on Patreon as The Savage Swingers. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.